Hi, welcome to another episode of the Ninjutsu podcast. I'm your host, Don Rowley. I had something that I was going to put up today. I filmed it, but in this week I got in the mail a copy of this book by my friend Phil Elmore. It's called Modern Ninja, Warrior Lessons from the Bansenshukai and Shoninki. Those of you that have followed me know that, yes, I have translated the Bansenshukai, the Shoninki, and the Nimpiden. I've got a copy of the Bansenshukai and the Shoninki on Amazon for sale. And Nimpiden is an ebook too. Obviously, this book is based on the lessons here, but obviously it's kind of like a Reader's Digest version in many ways. Well, to be honest, aside from the mass of the book, I've also put in different chapters so that you can understand what's in the background. It's kind of like trying to study Renaissance paintings without knowing anything about Christianity, or the politics of the time. So, obviously, this book is a lot thinner. It only took me about 3-4 hours to read through it. And from the start, I gotta say that, the title is a bit misleading. I think he's going to get a lot of complaints and reviews. This is, it says Modern Ninja. This is not a book for people that want to be modern ninjas. This is not for those people. This is for everyone. This is more about using the wisdom of the Bansenshukai and Shoninki in office politics and things like that. Not just people that, there are types that, when I say that this is my rubber ducky, they're not surprised that it's not a bath toy. They might like to play around with their Flipper Zero like I do. CIA case officers, pen testers, red team members, those people, those I would call modern ninja. A better title that might be something along the lines of, warrior wisdom of the ninja for use in everyday life. Okay, this is for everyone, not just those that want to learn lock picking or how to defeat an IR scanner, stuff like that. So I think he's going to, because of the title, there are people who are going to buy it and thinking that they're going to learn something to be, how to climb walls and stuff like that. The closest that it comes in here to this is there's one chapter on following somebody without giving yourself away, and everyday carry that includes things like, a lighter or a flashlight, things like that. That's about the closest it is. Everything else is lessons from modern day life. He takes something, and the emphasis is on gathering information and being able to use information, because obviously that's what the ninja were famous for. He takes some liberties, and I think, and just to stretch things out, he's, I can't disagree with anything that he says in this. It's just that some of this stuff, it's good advice. But, it's stretching a little bit, like in one case, like the Shoninki has the different types of agents, okay? And Phil has taken that to like different types of people and how to use them in the office. Like you've got the office gossip, okay? So obviously, it's obviously that you don't want to tell them anything you want to keep secret if they're the office gossip. But if you want to spread a juicy story, that's how you use them. So he took that from the Shoninki's talking about the different type of agents and use that. And that's pretty much what you find in this book. There are a few things, he makes a point of saying that, he did not use any one particular book, any translations, this particular translation. I think he based a lot of it on my stuff, just because mine is so good. I mean, I am the only person that says they are a translator of the Bansenshukai and Shoninki that is a native speaker that can actually read the original material, okay? So I think that a lot of it was based on here, but he didn't do that. One thing I think could have made this a lot better is if he had used quotes from the original source material, the translations, to back up what he says. He'll say that the ninja put a great emphasis on being of good character. That's true. You can find that in the Bansenshukai. A sentence or two showing how they, phrased it so that, and the reasons why, probably could have made this a lot more convincing to a lot of people that he's actually not making things up, but can back it up with what he's saying. But of course, if he did that, then he would have to give credit, say which translation that he used. So I think that maybe he didn't want to get into that, and so he just says, the ninja played a great emphasis on this instead of giving quotes showing it. A minor problem that I have with this, very, very minor, a couple, he throws in some photos of, things like weapons just to kind of, break up the monotony of the text. And he puts in nunchaku and sai, and yeah, the turtles use it, but no, the actual people of Iga did not use nunchaku and sai and stuff like that. And in one point that he says that the ninjas are basically guerrillas, and they were not, they were basically up against those in charge. And no, historically speaking, that whole thing that got started by Hayes of the ninja as a downtrodden minority that had to, fight to survive, that's not based in reality. But it's just a brief mention. Who is this for? I do not think that most people that follow this podcast would really be interested in this per se. I mean, it's for everybody. But again, if you're looking for something on ninjutsu, this is more for everyday life, okay? What this book probably is good for, and you might consider this. Some of you have probably told others that, like coworkers and such, that you practice ninjutsu. I don't. And now these people are looking at you strangely and thinking of you as an evil sociopath. And they won't even let you near their breakfast cereal for fear that you'll poison them. Well, maybe you want to buy this book, give it to them, and say, oh, and because this paints the ninja in a very good light. And when they read this and they realize that, this art can be used for good and does not mean that you want to kill anyone, and then they'll probably leave their breakfast cereal unguarded so that you can poison it. So yeah, think about this as a gift for people that want to know what the art is about, and they might be a little bit put off by the name. But again, this is all the stuff, how to live a better life, not really about being a modern day ninja. It is taking lessons from the ninja and putting it into practice in office politics, in doing projects, in getting by in life. So that's that, and I hope it sells well. It's Phil is a great writer, and he knows his stuff. So that's that. And if you have any comments or questions or something that maybe I should review, leave them in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe, whatever. People are supposed to say that when they get a channel like mine. But until then, till next time, I'll see you.